Happy Tuesday. It is Out of the Rut time. I'm your boy X.
Billy.
And today we have a good friend of mine in the studio today. We have our boy Matt. Say what up, Matt.
Hey, what up?
Hey, so Matt and I, I've known you for a long time. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you last, but excited to have you on the podcast and to chat about what you do in Ruts and all the good shit, man.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Hey, awesome. So first question. This is kind of an icebreaker question. That I just realized when I was purging my household today, because me and the wife we do winter purges versus spring cleaning.
Oh.
So we wait till the absolute worst time to purge shit when it's cold. And
I love that.
Yeah, so we're purging some shit, and I'm walking around the apartment, and I'm realizing I have the weirdest fucking decorations in my apartment. Mm-hmm. Most of it's just inside jokes. And I'm kind of curious, do you guys have weird decorations in your apartments or like inside joke decorations?
I mean, definitely. There are certain decorations that I run around my apartment if I know certain company is coming over, and I'm like, nope, this needs to go away.
Oh, so you're responsible. I leave them out.
Listen, I try to be responsible, but it doesn't always work.
And honestly, there's a handful of stuff, especially you, Billy, because you've been here a bunch. I'm surprised that no one has asked questions about. Like, I have this sign above my coffee. I have a coffee little bar set up right by the bathroom, and there's this red sign that says, "Get my boy a cock ... tail." And I'm surprised no one has read that and asked what the fuck that means. Because it's a callback to when I turned 21. I was living in Chicago. I turned 21. I hadn't seen my parents in a hot minute. My mom came to visit, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're 21 now. We should go to a neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
Go get you a drink, whatever." And I was living in Hermosa, which, if you don't know, Hermosa, I call the forgotten neighborhood of Chicago because there's not much out there. It's mainly just a bunch of rundown house apartments and a bunch of businesses that have closed down. Mm-hmm. So, but of course I don't know that, or I'm not thinking about it. I'm 21. I'm hell yeah, dude. Me and my mom, we're gonna go get a drink. It's gonna be fun because I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
No bars anywhere except for this one really rough looking dive bar, that the only one that we could find in a mile of where I live.
Dang.
So we walk in, and there's three burly big dudes in there. It's the diviest of dive bars. And the first thing my mom yells when she walks in is "Get my boy a cock! Tail, cocktail." And I'm just like, "Mom, you can't just say that. You can't just walk into a bar and just yell that to the 5 people that are here."
Why not?
Because I'm like, I don't know these people. I might run in them in the neighborhood. They might. I just don't know.
And I'm still trying to see the problem. I guess.
I just screaming, "Just get my boy a cock!" And everyone is just looking at me, and I'm just okay, whew, all right. But it made such a big impression. We have a sign of it in my apartment now, along with various other ridiculous shit. So yeah, I was curious if any of you had any sort of ridiculous decorations in your apartments.
I wouldn't say decorations. I would have weird collectibles.
Sure.
Anything from models to movie collectibles to posters. So it's a mix of everything, but nothing too crazy like what you got.
No, nothing cock related, unfortunately.
No cock related here.
Yeah. I plead the fifth. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an innocent girl.
I don't know anything about. I also have a random my wife and I, we stole a Subway sign that has Pitbull on it, Mr. Worldwide. It's above the door on the other side of the studio.
Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah, he did a wealth seminar. That he was a special guest speaker.
What?
And we were just "Yo, Pitbull, fuck yeah." We just stole it off the train, and now it lives in our apartment forever. Pictures of our wedding, actual meaningful shit. We just have dumb stuff that we just steal off subways.
Everyone has their thing, and that good for you. I celebrate your thing.
Oh, you know what? Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Validation.
Yes.
That's actually really what this podcast episode is about, is just me seeking validation for the stupid shit I have around the apartment. But let's get into why we're talking, or why we have you here today. Matt, what's your experience with ruts? You've ever been in a rut? Any notable rut jump out at you of oh, this is when I was in the ruttiest of ruts?
Oh my goodness, I've been in so many ruts, actually. I think one of my biggest ruts was when I transitioned out of theater. Mm-hmm. Actually, a few years ago, going into COVID, I felt like I was in a rut. I felt like I just wasn't getting anywhere. I the bad thing is I was successful, and externally I would look really successful, but internally I just was starting to feel jealous and upset and not happy.
Sure.
And so that was probably one of the biggest ruts that I've ever really felt.
It's a tough pill to swallow, and it's obviously one that we've talked with people a lot on the podcast, because obviously people we interview tend to be from one of our circles, either mine, Billy's, or Ron's, and the people in my circle all tend to be very theatrical or from the theater world. But it's I mean, it's a pretty common thing, especially around 2020, where I think a lot of us had that mental shift of like, hey, if we are going to get off this train, or if we're going to make a change, like now is kind of the time, especially with how limited options there were for us.
So I think for me, I felt the rut going into COVID. So I had already been in the rut space. Oh, wow. And then COVID was I think in a lot of professions, actually, you just kind of get in that rat race. Yeah. Where you're like, and you're talking to other professionals and you're going, okay, why am I not feeling the same way you are about this? Or I feel like I have to with theater. I have to audition. I have to keep going in. Because this is what I do. Yeah. And COVID was a nice wake up to be like, oh, okay, there are other things out there, and I am actually okay not being in a show all the time and being out of that rat race.
No, for sure. And like, it definitely takes some time getting used to. Like, there's those handful of shows. Like, I couldn't see theater for at least a couple years because I would just sit there in the audience and be like, fuck, I should be doing this. But then like eventually you find solace in what your decision was, and you find happiness in other places. And now I can go see shows and see my friends and stuff and be like, oh my God, I'm happy for their success now. And not that I wasn't before, but it's a weird feeling, kind of sitting there being, I could do that or I could not be, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I'll say even now I go see some shows and I definitely get that itch of, oh, I could be up there. I could be doing that. So I feel like it's never gone because it is a part of what you love. It's something you're passionate about. Yeah. So it's just about understanding, okay, where am I now? What am I pursuing? And if I want it, how can I bring it back in a way that's going to benefit me?
It has to work for you first. And you know, it's a grind, man. It is a grind.
Yes, it is.
And honestly, I honestly, the hardest pill to swallow for me was like realizing that I'm a shitty auditioner. I'm the worst auditioner, dude. I'm great. I was great in shows, and like every time I'd work with a cast or a production team or whatever, they'd always be like, "Oh, you were so great," and I'm like, "Great, awesome." And I can usually book more gigs from that. But auditioning itself, I suck at. I'm not good at impressing people because I just don't think I care.
No. Well, and it's a short amount of time. You have 10 seconds, you know, what is it? 16 bars or whatever it is to 32 bars to make an impression. And then you have to leave the room. Yeah. And most likely you walk into a room, like, hopefully not many people out there in theater, but they probably know who they want or have an idea of who they want when you walk into the room. So
so what's the point? It's kind of what's the point?
And I was doing a cost-benefit analysis every single time. I'm going, I could be working, making money, or I could be going to 20 auditions, not wasting, it's not a waste of time, but wasting all this time.
I think that's the thing that often people don't understand is like to go to some of these auditions, especially at the equity building, it's like you're giving up a full day of work to be there. And you might not even get seen. Yes. Like, depending on where you're at on this list, it's like you could have wasted a whole day of work and not even gotten to do what you what you prepped for. And that is arguably the most defeating thing. It's like, not only did I not make money, but I also didn't even get seen. So I pretty much could have just stayed home and done anything else.
Yep. And it's not really a day off because you're kind of stressed. You're in that energy of everyone having to audition.
You're also in a room with 30 other theater artists that are all doing vocal warm-ups and singing their shit. And you're like, that guy's singing the same song I am. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah. It's my PTSD industry. I know.
PTSD just came back. Oh God. Any other ruts that you can recall recently, personally, in the past, you know?
I think a little bit before, honestly, as I was coming out, I came out a little bit later in life. Oh, cool. And I also was finding myself in a rut of like, who am I? What am I doing in that space? And I took a lot of time to do some introspection. I really dove into astrology a little bit. I dove into crystals a little bit. I dove into all of the things that you could do to be like, okay, who am I? Where am I going?
Looking for answers.
Exactly. So that's probably the other big rut that I've been in.
Damn.
So.
I mean, that's a tough rut. And obviously I am not one to speak on it because I'm a straight Latin male. But like, it's one you hear about all the time. It's like you have this super clear identity of who you are, but then by acknowledging this part of you that maybe you've been suppressing, it's like you open up a whole new world of self-discovery that you now have to go through all over again of like, hey, how does this new aspect of my life or this new aspect of me that I'm now accepting, how does that affect everything around me? And where do I fit into all that? Like it's something I can only imagine, but it's a
lot. It's a lot, but it also is probably one of the, if once you get to the point of acceptance, I feel like it's one of the fastest ruts you can get out of, because there is such a weight in just being able to say like, okay, I finally have an acceptance of who I am and who I love and who I'm attracted to, that it's kind of like, oh, okay, now things can fall into place a little bit easier, and it's still a lot of work, but feel like you're out of it.
Yeah, at least you're like moving in a positive direction of self-discovery and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
For a little context for those who are curious how Matt and I know each other, we were in a production together a long time ago. Arguably, or not even arguably, I'm pretty locked in. It was definitely one of my favorite shows that I've ever done in Chicago. I know it was a little bit of a rough one for some people, and like back end stuff, politics with theater politics and stuff made certain things a little dicey. Mm-hmm. But I would say like overall, that was probably one of my favorite shows I've ever done. Just camaraderie of the cast, the content of the show. It was a production for all the musical people who listen. It was called Yank. It essentially follows a character reading out of a diary from someone from World War II, and essentially it's a gay love story, and it goes kind of through the trials and tribulations of someone who is gay being in World War II and how they maneuvered that, and the camaraderie with his platoon and stuff like that. It's a really cool story, honestly. Like I said, it was probably the best, one of my favorite shows I've ever done in Chicago. I just learned a lot from the cast, from the show, blah blah blah. But Matt was the lead in that. I played.
Wow.
Yeah, Matt was the lead in that, and I played it. I was like an ensemble, like supporting character in that. So, like I said, probably the closest cast that I probably worked with throughout my theater career in Chicago. And
I totally agree. No, I truly feel the same. It's one of my favorite productions, not just because I was the lead. I mean, that was a nice part, but
oh yeah,
but but it was also just that group of people. I'm similar. I don't necessarily see everyone a lot, but anytime I do see somebody, it's like, oh, we're right back there. We're just kind of clicked back in, and there's that connection there. So one of the best shows I've done in Chicago.
But that's how Matt and I know each other. That's how we have our relationship. Let's get into the fun stuff, though.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, like, before we get into what you do currently, let's talk about your job history. Like from the time, let's say in tandem of doing theater, like what job experience do you have, and how did that lead you to what you're doing now?
Oh my goodness. So I like to say I have an eclectic background. Did a little bit of this, a little bit of that,
Hell yeah.
So I did start, I'm taking it all the way back to college. I actually was like in a cafe. So I kind of became a student manager in a cafe for a little bit, doing coffee, things like that. I also worked in a lab while I was in college. Yeah.
What kind of lab?
Psychological. So
cool.
Prejudice and stereotyping.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably dealing with some really heavy shit in the lab.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff too. One of the first people to really look into implicit bias was one of the people who was in my lab, who led the lab. So,
and for those who don't know what implicit bias is, could you explain that a little bit?
It's the, oh gosh,
I know. I'm giving you a lot.
It's stretching that muscle. Come on. It's basically all of those unconscious biases that we have about people. So the things that you think of when you look at someone and they're automatically occurring in your mind, and you don't necessarily have any conscious desire to have those come forward.
Yeah, there's no evidence to prove that those things you're feeling are accurate. You just see someone and you have an opinion or a decision that was made.
And you may not even be aware that you have the opinion. That's the kind of the cool thing about it, but also kind of the scary thing about it is that you may not even be aware. There's implicit bias tests that show you pictures and have you associate things, and it measures your speed. So the things that you associate better, you respond to faster
because you don't have to formulate the thought as hard because it's already there. Boom.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So it's a lot of the stuff they look into when they think of like shooter bias and things like that, where they'll do it with police forces and say, hey, let's have implicit bias, implicit attitude tests, and trainings for you so that you know that when you see someone who's black, you don't draw the gun a little bit faster on them than someone who's white, you know?
That's actually kind of, I was just about to ask like where those types of tests come into play, but I guess like law enforcement is kind of a big one because you're, again, working with the public and dealing with many different demographics of people. Interesting.
I mean, honestly, any profession, if you think about, okay, men are more
likely to lead,
or men should be leaders and things like that. What are the things that we're seeing in men that we aren't seeing in women? And are those implicit biases?
Damn. And so how long did you work at the lab for?
So I worked there throughout college, probably 2 years, I think. I want to say. Yeah. So I was there for a little bit. Then I did some marketing research in college as well. Did a internship. And then I graduated, moved down to Chicago, no job in line.
So where did you go to college? Like, where was this at?
UW-Madison.
Oh, okay.
I love it. I will talk about, I'm surprised I didn't mention it. Well, because we were looking at work history, but sure, UW-Madison, go Badgers.
What was the process like in college having these separate jobs? Like, what was like the application process? Was it just like a matter of you knowing someone, or was it like you physically seeked these jobs out of stuff you wanted to explore?
I physically sought them out. So because I studied marketing and psychology in undergrad, and I fell into psychology because I had to get a psychology class to get into the business school. And I was like, oh, I really like this. So I added on a second major, and then implicit bias and stereotyping and prejudice was really interesting to me. So I was like, okay, I'll join this lab.
Psychology is so freaking cool. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, it's like you just when you think you know everything, it's like you don't know anything at all.
No, there is so much going on up there that it's crazy. I love it.
Oh, that's cool. So those were the college years. What did you go to college to study specifically? You said you double majored. So
I double majored marketing and psychology.
Okay. Mm-hmm. God, so where did the theater interest come in?
But listen, well, see, this is the crazy thing, because my eclecticness started all the way back then. My freshman, sophomore year of college, I was undecided. I was doing theater classes, doing pre-business school classes, and taking Spanish because I wanted to continue to speak Spanish.
Yeah. Do you speak Spanish fluently?
Más o menos.
Easily more than I do.
Puedo entender mucho, pero no puedo decir mucho.
Yeah, I'm fucked. So how I look is where the Latin ends for me. That and my love of horchata. Yeah. But so we were a little undecided through the college years.
So undecided through the college years, always loved theater. My goal was actually always theater. Sure. I just was like, why go to school for it? Because I can take these classes and I can do it. No shade to any theater majors, because I do think there is a lot that you can learn in a theater program. But I was just like, I want to do a backup of some sort and get a degree in that and then pursue theater afterwards.
Especially in a city like Chicago, like the resources that we have in the theater world outside of a collegiate setting are so much.
What I will also say is that I think you can learn a lot in conservatories that is applicable to other fields. Yeah. It's just making that transition. That's, I think, sometimes the challenge is, how do I take the skills that I've learned and put it out there? Because at the end of the day, unless you want to be like a doctor, an engineer, something incredibly specific, it does not matter what you get your undergrad in.
No.
And I say that to almost everybody. I was like, I have a marketing background from my undergrad. That means I understand a little bit more of the structure of everything. But there are so many people who are in marketing who do not have that background.
Yeah. Wow.
So you learn the lingo, but other than that, you're not doing anything particularly different.
Yeah.
You know? I think we're getting to a place nowadays that it is not nearly as necessary. And we have to figure out what the point is.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people are getting jobs and making careers without college at all. And content creating, whether it's music, this or that, like they're doing it outside and they're getting more resources from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, not like what's something that they're avoiding too is the burnout effect. Like by the time by the time that I would have graduated college, like a lot of the people that were in my class don't do theater anymore because it's like they live, breathe, eat it for 4 years straight. By the time they graduate, they're just like, I just want to do anything but this now.
Yeah.
And the people who kind of skip that process or dive into it professionally while they're passionate, like they tend to last longer, or they tend to like skip that burnout phase, or it comes later or whatever, you know?
But I do also think that it is unfair to ask someone who's 18 years old to figure out what are you going to do for the rest of your life.
Could not agree more.
I do sometimes say, hey, go to college, because it gives you a year or two where you can keep go to different classes, explore different interests, meet new people. So it's like puts off your, I have to adult and I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I wish college focused a little bit more on like the day-to-day lifestyle of being an adult versus like these very vague overviews of these careers. Like,
oh my gosh,
if you would have told me like over the 4 years of college, I would have figured out how to like do taxes and shit like that. I'd have been like, that'd have been dope. Like whatever, like teach me that shit.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised when people don't know how to do the taxes. A lot.
I still don't know. Just kidding.
I'm like, what taxes?
I know.
Or in this case, you put it on there and you're thinking you get like $800. It's like $8,000. Oh yeah, I did it right, no problem.
Whatever, dude. I'm sure I'm on some list somewhere with the IRS. I'm sure somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, like college is focused on that stuff. I'd be like, yeah, dope, dude. Like, I get it, but like so much of that, you end up leaving college and leaving high school. Both you end up leaving both and needing to still do all of that outside learning on your own. And it's like, how the fuck do you even get started with that shit, dude?
Mm-hmm. It's so true.
It's
so
stressful,
true.
Man. It's stressful being an adult.
Speaking of, no.
It's definitely to the point where I wish I could just cancel my subscription
to being adult. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Take me back to my teens, bro.
Like, I want to cancel this. I don't want to be an adult no more.
Please. Thank you. I would love that.
Can I get a refund?
Yeah.
Something? Like something?
Dude, yeah. Dude, oh my God. Give me all of my tuition money back refunded, bro. Like,
oh my gosh.
I'd be making it rain up in here.
Yes.
But also that too, I think when it comes to college is how much money you got to put, thousands of dollars you're in the debt. It's like, what's the point of me going through all that debt just to, not saying you don't get a degree, but it's like I went to community college. I got my 2 year and I didn't do nothing with it.
Yeah.
I spent all these years getting it, and I don't even use it to this day. Never did.
By the time I dropped out, I used to make the joke. I was $80,000 in debt for a degree I didn't even have. I was like, I'm in the red, $80,000 because conservatory programs are also expensive as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even have anything to show for it. So I'm just like walking around crippled in debt. Yeah. I feel like this has been a big topic lately, is like the idea of like high school students especially, but like high school students like having a lunch debt by the time they graduate high school. And I just find conceptually the idea of having a debt right out of the gate, whether it be college or high school, is fucking crazy to me.
Oh, yeah.
My dad actually had to remind me. I called my dad because we were talking about this. He actually had to remind me. He was like, bitch, you had a lunch debt. Yeah. He's like, you almost didn't get a degree because you had a lunch debt in school. He's like, I had to pay off because like the money that you'd get to like eat lunch wasn't enough. So like there would be some days where you'd be eating 2 lunches and stuff because it wasn't enough. Yeah. And he's like, you almost didn't get a degree because you were in a lunch debt. And I'm just like, the concept of that is so fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
That like you can go to school because you're legally supposed to be there, but still not graduate because you owe a debt to somebody. Like that's so.
Wait, I'll say it again now. I'm sorry. Lunch debt?
Yeah. So you pay for school lunches.
Yeah.
And if you get like a X amount of money to go towards lunch, but if you go over that amount, they don't not give you food, but you go into debt. Yeah. So by the time June rolls around and you're supposed to graduate,
I'm sorry.
You get notified by the school saying, hey, you won't get your degree unless you pay off your lunch debt. And it's like, yo, I'm barely 18 and I'm already in debt. Like, goddamn. Like,
that's interesting because when I went to school, it was if you don't got the money, you don't eat.
See, and which is still fucked up in its own right.
Oh, well, absolutely, yeah. But up. To the point where like they of course they allow you to eat okay, but then it's like you owe money. But it's like, so that blows my mind because back in high school it was if you don't have the money, you don't eat.
Yeah, I mean either way, it's fucking crazy, dude.
And so like lunch was always a couple bucks, whatever, which was not a problem. But I was like, I never knew that. Dude, you can go in debt for that.
Dude, sometimes they're like, because of course we're dudes and we're like, oh, I did macho man when we're like 16 and 17. Like we would ask like the girls who like wouldn't use all theirs because of course they have their own stigmas and they're not eating lunch because of body dysmorphia and all the fucked up shit they got to deal with. But we were like poaching their lunches because we were in so much lunch debt, dude. Yeah. Like eventually they would stop feeding us. They'd be like, hey, you actually can't afford more lunch. And we'd go to like all the girls we knew and be like, hey, do you have any money on your lunch account? We're like hungry because we're like 16 and all we had was like a Hot Pocket, dude.
Yeah.
Had some Totino pizza rolls
Yes.
and a salad with lettuce and carrot in it. Like, that's it.
But Stromboli Day, that was the best. Okay. You can never come between me and Stromboli.
No, I'd be running to the lunch line for that Stromboli.
Oh, you better believe.
Were you running to the lunch line in high school, Matt?
Wow.
I know. I'm throwing it back.
That's a minute.
Did I unlock a part of your brain?
I'm trying to. Can I even remember lunchrooms? I did take my lunch from home for a minute, so I wasn't always.
So you weren't always buying lunch. You were packing.
Yes, I was packing.
No,
yeah,
dude, Matt was packing.
You know,
dude, the kids who packed lunch always brought the coolest shit too.
I know.
They had the Dunkaroos and stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Honestly, let me know if this is weird. I used to go to school like to lunch with like a brown paper bag, and inside the bag was just a can of Chef Boyardee with a fork.
Yeah,
and I would literally pop it open, and that would be my lunch. And I remember people giving me a lot of shit for that, being like, "Yo, you
gotta warm it up though a little bit?
You don't got to, dude.
You don't know.
You don't got to. It's already cooked. You just got to pop it open to eat it."
Well, I feel like it's arguable that you can say it's cooked. Is that actual food? I think is the first question we have to.
That implies that it is actually food in the first place, and I suppose you have a good point.
Yeah.
But see, like for me, like when you mentioned like bringing a lunch to school, not a lot of people did it because we couldn't keep it cold. Like they didn't give us like a student refrigerator to put stuff in.
You didn't have what's called an ice pack?
Well, yeah, but I guess if like for example, like some kids had their lunch like 8th period, so it's like you're going the entire day. What with the ice pack?
Kids had their lunch 8th period?
Yeah.
Out of how many periods in a day, brother? Because for
8.
one, when I was in high school, we only had 6 periods.
So
6th period was our final period.
So for me, it was 8 periods, and then either one. So the high school I went here in the city, you go from 1st to 8, or 2 to 9, or 3 to 10. So like some people would start 3rd period, which is your homeroom, and then they would go to 10th period, which would be like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Dude, I won't lie. There were so many fucking numbers being thrown around. You lost me. I was like, shit, I have to do math to understand this
first
curriculum.
period and second period would be whatever classes they put you in, whether it's history, math, English, gym, whatever, art, whatever they scheduled you for. Then second one would be another class. 3rd period was your homeroom. You go see your homeroom teacher. You check in. Oh, hey, teach, I'm here. And you kind of sit there for like 30 minutes and like relax.
Wait,
chill vibe.
That's here in Chicago?
At least the school I went to.
Oh. That's weird.
But so like,
dude, from a scale of 1 to weird, I agree with Matt.
You had kids who like either would work sometimes like an overnight job, and they would have like a 3rd period as their 1st period, so they come in later in the day, but they stay later.
Oh, I mean that's nice, I suppose, if you work late.
But then
very confused.
But then like because the counselors would always do your schedule, and they would always try to put everyone 1 through 8 real quickly, but you had to like fight, and other way around. They try to put you like 3 to 8 or 2 to 8 or 2 to 9 period wise, and people would say, "Oh no, I had to take my younger brother to school down the street." And then they would have to get like a note from like their parents or the school of their kid went to, like their brother, and say, "Hey, like my little brother needs to be taken to school every morning. I'm the one that does it."
That's honestly. Did you go to a city high school or? Are you
no.
Same. I'm from a small town.
Weird.
Yeah. City high schools, bro. That's weird. That is awkward.
Yeah, and then of course they also did night school too sometimes. So like if
they did night school for high school kids?
Yeah.
Oh, that is really weird.
So if kids wanted to like either if they were like dropouts, GEDs, they would take like night class.
Okay, so
I
like
love that. That's
that makes
great.
sense. That makes sense.
So there'd be like some teachers would.
They're going to tell me like there were some high school kids like 17, 16 being like, "Yep, start class at 8 p.m.
No. Sometimes or some like if some kids not all were like, I want to get extra credit to like graduate early.
Just kidding.
So they
okay,
would take
now
like,
I'm offended. Okay.
No. We love academia.
So they would take like a math class at night so they can get ahead in their graduation.
Nice, good for them. Yeah. Smart. Still very confusing city high schools, but
going back, so kids would have like 8 period lunch. So like they
that
would
makes more sense.
So that
now.
they wouldn't eat. They just go home after 7th period and be done.
Yeah.
And of course, we all had like the school IDs on the back was your schedule. So like it's security. If you try to walk it out, so where you go? Hey, I got 8 period lunch. I'm just gonna go home.
You're like, screw you, dude. You can't stop me, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
And of course, every kid had a different period. So like your lunch would either be 3rd period, 4th period, 5th, 6th period, depending on where they put you in. Yeah. And I think for me, I feel 5th and then like 6th, always kind of in the middle of the day. And then I've had buddies who had 8 period. They're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go home. Fuck it.
Yeah, like I mean, at that point, why would you stay just for lunch?
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah.
Some use it as like social like hangout. Like we're all just gonna hang on the lunchroom and just chit chat.
I don't like people.
No, dude, no, that doesn't sound fun.
Even if I like you, not that much, not enough to stay in school.
Listen, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, that's a hard pass. Dude. Yeah, hard pass. But going back to you, Matt, tangent about growing up and Billy's fucked up childhood of 8 periods and lunch at the end of the day.
Yes, we love it.
Let's get back into you. Where did we leave off? The college years? We just
post-college.
Post-college. Yeah, post-college, Matt.
I actually moved down to Chicago without a job lined up because I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I've told myself I want to do theater, so I'm going to head down to Chicago and do theater.
Nice. Risky, but nice.
Yeah. So I got down here and I started... let's see. I got a part-time job at like a dog as a assistant
as a dog.
Yeah, I was a puppy from a young age.
Honestly, I'm sure there's a lot of money to be made, Matt, dude.
Listen, I was well paid. No, I was assistant to a dog shop owner thing, and then I also was working downtown at a marketing research firm part-time, and then I got a full-time gig as a case manager. So I was working with parolees and helping them get back on their feet after prison.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Damn.
I mean, truly. A lot of drug tests. Had to do a lot of drug tests.
A lot of urine.
A
lot of urine.
Yeah.
Damn. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you just organically stumbled upon that?
Yeah. Well, while I was in college, I was really I was very interested in criminal psychology and legal psychology. So I think that our I guess convicted people who have a background are probably one of our least utilized populations and often overlooked because there's so much stigma surrounding them.
Yeah.
And a lot of our systems. So I was really passionate about getting involved there. And so that's why I was seeking out some spaces like that. And found this job, did that for a year while I was also auditioning and acting. So I actually at some point got a car and was like driving. The only time I could talk to my parents was when I was driving, and Chicago traffic was, because I'd leave work at 5, have to get to freaking Arlington Heights in traffic.
Yeah, you're not getting anywhere fast at that time.
Nope. So I would just be like shouting at my parents in the car and go, "I'm so sorry. I'm just tired, and this is."
Dude, that's so crazy. That's mostly where I talk to my parents is in traffic too.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, you know what? I got about an hour and a half in traffic to kill. Might as well FaceTime a parent or two.
Yes,
knock this out.
Yes, it's a good time. So
plus, it gives a for sure end time. No offense, Mom, I love you, but like sometimes it's nice to be like, hey, I just got here. Time to hang out, dude.
I'm gonna say this. Anyone listening, I am sorry, but I'm also not. It's for anyone. I like having a definite end where I go, okay, oh, I got here. Okay, well, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, like I don't need shit to linger. I don't need us to awkwardly stare at each other while we think of another question to keep it going.
Yes.
Like, hey, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm good, dude.
When I make calls, I just tell people I'm done.
Bye. You're just like, well, that's cool. Click. No, hey guys, don't even say bye.
We'll sit there. Okay, so I'm gonna go do something. I'll text you later. Peace. And then just kind of click.
You literally give them the phone call equivalent of when people would write in your yearbook, Hags, have a great summer. You literally give people the phone version of that. Be like, cool, Hags, click.
Yeah. I love that.
Well, just because I don't want to sit there and be like, no, I'll call you later. No, I got shit to do. I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Honestly, I wish more people were like that.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like the dick because I always feel like I'm always the one ending the conversations when things get weird. I'm just like, sometimes I like to be the guy who likes to be ended on.
I know. I know.
Like finish things with me. Why am I always like, okay, cool, this was fun. Bye.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I love that.
Traffic's a great place to talk to people.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. But I mean, I could only really do that for a year because it got to be so much. There was so much emotional work with it as well. I have the utmost respect for anyone who goes into casework, social work, anything like that. I just think you have to have such a big heart. I felt during that time I had 3 bosses or 3 people that I was trying to make happy.
Yeah.
It was my boss. It was the parole officer who sometimes wanted something different than my boss. And then the parolee who's in theory the person I should be supporting. But that person would sometimes want something different than the parole officer or my boss. So then I'm like, well, I guess no one wins, and I'm not paid well. So
not only am I not making money, but nobody's happy. Yeah. So this sucks.
When you would work on these cases, have you, of course, you don't have to say who it is if you don't want to. Have you ever run into one where it's like, this person's fucked up? Like you realize, see their case, like, this motherfucker is weird as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had instances where someone like would not be able to interact with me. I had a meeting with him and it just didn't go well. And people were like, okay, we need to keep some space between the two of you.
Damn. Like, and like, God, what is the mental hurdle you go through when those are the case? Like, of like, you're really passionate about this thing and wanting to help people, but then some people just don't want to be helped or like don't know how to be helped or whatever. It's like, what type of emotional journey do you go on with that? How do you pull yourself out of that?
Honestly, I think the harder part for me, if someone didn't necessarily want to be helped, I would just kind of try. I am stupidly optimistic sometimes, but I just would be like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep trying. Like, you have to report in here. So how can we make this work? You technically, because they had to report in every day of the week or like once a week, they had different schedules. Yeah. And then I would call them back and have a conversation with them and be like, hey, have you gotten a job? Hey, how are you doing? What can I do to support you?
Back off me, Mom. Jeez.
Yeah, truly. But I think that's the other thing that's really hard about the population is that they don't always have an out, because now they're trying to go out and get a job with this record. Yeah. And a lot of people see, oh, you have a record and I don't want to hire you.
That's the end of the conversation.
Exactly. It could be I had weed on me and I was picked up and I was on parole for maybe, shoplifting. That wasn't really shoplifting. It just, I got called and I got picked up.
And I happen to have weed on me. And it's like, fuck.
Or sometimes they'll get taken back because, their cousin is also on parole. And technically you can't be with another person on parole while you're on parole sometimes. So then you get picked up.
That is news to me. I'd never heard of that. Yeah. I guess it makes sense, but a logistical thing I've never thought about is that parolees cannot hang out with other parolees. Yeah. And like, how does that is it like one of those, like, in shows where like they have like a criminal in a neighborhood and they have to like report to their neighbors, be like, yes, I am a criminal. Yeah. Is that what parolees have to do with other like parolees? Be like, hey, by the way, I'm on parole, just to make sure if no one else here is on parole, right?
Not as I'm parolee. It's been a minute since I've been in that. So sure. Everything I'm
pulling deep into the archives.
I know. What's on my mind? I don't know that it's technically someone can check me out there. So if someone's listening, please put in the comments.
Fact check us for sure.
Check us. But I don't think it is technically with a parolee. I don't think it's for everybody. Okay. But there were situations I would hear of where it's like I'm staying with someone and her cousin or something is also a parolee. So like if we get seen together, we may get picked up and taken back to jail.
Oh, that would suck.
Jesus.
Damn. So not only are you a victim of your own actions, but you're now a victim of someone else's actions too. And it's like, how do you control that? Like, how do you account for that?
And then even if you want to make amends and get back doing something more legit, it's again, I have this record now. So how do I do that? So a lot of people look at me sideways and then, I need money. So I know an easy way to make money.
Yeah, go and do more crimes.
Quote unquote easy way to make money, because it's not really that easy.
No, so it's a grind. It's also a grind to be a criminal. You're not on parole, are you, Billy? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not on parole, I swear. So damn, like, and I could not agree more. People who do those lines of work, like, it takes a special person to do that. And it does. I can tell you, I'm not that person.
No,
I take my work home with me, all that shit. And I feel like you have to separate if you work in those fields.
You really do. Yep. And so I did that for about a year and said, I don't know if I can do it anymore. And I was fortunate enough to book in my first equity gig.
Oh, nice.
At the end of that time. So I was able to make that transition out of that work into acting full time.
Nice. And what was your first equity gig?
It was Northbrook Children's Theater. Yeah. I was an understudy. A lot of people got their EMC point. I mean, talk about throwback right there. EMC points. Remember those days?
Yeah. They don't do that anymore, right? Because I kind of stopped performing while they still had EMC points, and I know during COVID or something they kind of transitioned away from that.
They got rid of it.
For those who don't know, you used to need so many points to be able to join the union for Actors Equity, and it was all kind of it was all based off of roles you've had in equity shows and how many points you got and how long. Wasn't it like a length of time thing too? Like if you were in a show for so long, you got so many more points or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was a point per week or something like that. And then it was, your equity membership candidate. Ooh. So you had to get up to 50. And then the funny thing is at a certain point, you'd be getting close to 50 and you'd be going, wait. I need to stop getting points because I need to work with a few more places before I go equity.
Yeah, because once you become equity, those are all the places you can work for. You can't work for a non-equity theater anymore. And then you're super limited in how much you can do.
Yeah.
So it was always a kind of a gamble of like, okay, cool. Like you have to pace yourself, but also you need to get them.
Yep.
I was never good at that.
No.
I'm just like, dude. Points, no points, dude. I'm just here for a good time, dude.
Honestly, I just needed the first ones. After the first ones, I was like, I'm good, because then you got into auditions faster. So
that's right. Damn, that is a throwback. I haven't thought about
EMC
equity membership candidates and that whole process in years.
Right?
It's crazy. So you booked your first equity gig and you left, my
full-time job.
The full-time job. Mm-hmm. What was next?
Next after that is I kept acting, but I needed obviously something to supplement my income. So at one point I tutored ACT and SAT prep for a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah. And
I sucked at both of those.
It really opened my eyes to standardized testing. So I don't really care for that anymore either. But it's great. But I also did standardized patient work. So that's when I first started getting involved in standardized patient work.
Got it. So we were doing that in tandem with acting. Mm-hmm. And how did that evolve? Like, how do you feel that experience influenced where you're at today and what you're doing now?
Well, I think the interesting thing is, so now what I'm currently doing is training and development. So really looking at like adult education, I'm looking at learning and development from a kind of a corporate perspective of how can I increase people's skills in the workplace. One of my favorite things to talk about is empowerment. My goal in life is to empower people around me so that they can achieve what they want to achieve. Understanding that there are going to be barriers that we don't have control over, but how can we still navigate those as well? And I think, interestingly, although I have had this strange up and down background, a lot of my case management was about helping people get careers and get out of prison, get off parole, things like that.
Yeah.
And then I went into standardized patient, which is adult education, and looking at how can I help with communication with medical students, and how do I help with bedside manner and physical exam technique and really teaching students. And same with tutoring. A lot of it was very teaching focused. So I think the interesting thing is this whole time, a lot of my careers have had that through line, but it wouldn't necessarily be the case if you just looked at them on the surface level,
Yeah.
So it's all driven me to this point, and I've found a lot of skills that have been able to transfer between them.
Nice. So does that pretty much pick us up to where we're at today? Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah. With standardized patient, I was at like 4 or 5 schools, and I started to become a trainer at those schools. So training other standardized patients. Then I decided to go back to school. So I got my master's in organizational psychology. And then I fully dove into the corporate training and development space.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's, now that we're kind of all caught up, let's live in that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was dumb and didn't ask this outright. Can you tell the listeners what exactly you do, who you work for? No, obviously you talked about the training and development stuff, but a little bit of an overview of what your title is and what you do.
Yes. So my title is an organizational development specialist. I work in the insurance space. So the cool thing about the organizational development and learning and development is it really is transferable to any industry. You just have to understand that you're going to have to learn the industry a little bit. What I do on a high level from day to day, the cool thing I love about it is it really varies. It every day is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I'm essentially understanding what the organization needs in regards to learning and development, in regards to, and specifically for myself, it's soft skills development. So we're thinking leadership, communication, performance management, things like that.
Okay.
Coaching, difficult conversations.
Got it. So like not so much the how to do the job, but like how the nuances of the job relating to interacting with people and leading in that way.
Arguably a lot of those skills that AI can't do. I just want to plug that real quick. AI, if you're listening.
Dude, I am an AI hater. I bring this up in every episode. I'm sure everyone listening hates it. I am an AI hater. I hate it so much.
Why do you hate it?
I just think that like there's a fine line for what we use it for and what it can become. And
ChatGPT is probably listening to this right now. Like,
assessing.
Come to get them now.
Assessing everything.
No one will ever. This episode will never see the light of day because AI will have pulled it from everything.
Exactly.
Dude, AI.
Well, but here's the thing, because I almost challenge. I am not necessarily the biggest supporter of AI, but I want us to be conscious of how we use AI.
Sure.
Because it is an amazing tool that can help us with productivity. It can help us with efficiency, with a lot of things. I just want us to be smart about how we employ it.
Yeah.
And I also want to make sure that it's not negatively impacting our world, because there's a lot of concern around environmental issues and things with AI. So like,
yeah, I get a lot of that. I get a lot of that. And like the other, like, I just think that like, what we're kind of saying, and we talked about this in the last episode that dropped, is like it seems like with most things like CGI, with like AI, it's like there's a sweet spot of like when it really benefits us and when it really helps reinforce really great things in the workspace.
Yeah.
And every time we are almost guaranteed to take that shit way too far. Yeah. To the point where it like you see AI images now and it's so easy to tell what's AI and what isn't, when it used to not be. It used to be so like, which was a problem in its own right, but like it's to the point now where it's like almost so obviously AI that it's like, I'm like, what purpose is it serving now other than just being an AI entity?
Yeah.
You know, CGI is the same way. It's like there was a sweet spot where I felt like CGI looked really believable in films, and now you watch a CGI film and it's like, this looks like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
But I do think it ebbs and flows. You know, I do think that we have dove face first into everything to be like, yes, AI, this is the next frontier. And I feel like we will take the pendulum, we'll come back a little bit more central.
Find a middle ground somewhere.
Find that middle ground.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. That's my hope. Because AI freaks me. I've maybe used ChatGPT like once or twice for various things. And like I
use it every day.
I know. I know. You're a
Listen.
ChatGPT boy.
But it's an amazing tool as long as we use it as that, a tool.
Correct, yes.
Like we have to assess everything that we put into ChatGPT. We have to have the knowledge to be able to say, oh, is this a viable piece of information that ChatGPT is giving me? You know? And if you can't do that, then don't use ChatGPT.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. But dope. So training development, it's funny because it is super transferable. We have someone who works in town who does that kind of thing for us too.
Yeah.
In charge of like all of the education and like she kind of owns a lot of the onboarding for new people, making sure that people are set up for success, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about, do you have any questions, Billy, before I just keep rambling, brother?
It was just kind of like the beginning process of training and development. So like, for example, like what makes training sessions truly engaging instead of just like a regular meeting?
Ooh,
damn, that's a fucking good one.
That's
dude.
A good question.
He threw you a fastball.
Do you know, I honestly think it really depends on the person.
Okay.
I'll be fully, let me take a step back. There are traditional like techniques that you can do to have an engaging training session. So obviously getting with adult education, you want to understand what is their purpose for being there and get them hooked in as fast as possible. If you can't give them a what's in it for me, for most adult people who are busy, why am I here?
Yeah.
So that's going to engage me
quickly.
Exactly. I think the other thing is I just enjoy having fun. In general. So having little jokes here and there, finding ways to engage with somebody in the audience if it's a live session. If I see someone responding to something, actually having that authentic moment of, you understand, kind of brings people in.
Yeah.
Making it relatable to your audience. So if you have a point, understanding, okay, who is my target audience and how can this information I'm sharing translate to what they're doing on the day-to-day?
Yeah.
Questions. I love if I have a stat or something, instead of just sharing the stat, I like to start with, what do y'all think? Hey, let's hear what percent of XYZ do you think is going to blah, 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 blah.
I mean, that kind of harkens back to like those preconceived notions we talked about. Like everyone has their opinion of what stats are going to say, but it's like when you get that out there and then you kind of have the opportunity to re-engage them by being like, hey, you're either right or, oh, no, like it's completely different than what you thought. And people get kind of interested in that kind of thing. Interesting.
And similar, I love a small breakout. It's harder to do in a virtual setting, but like posing a question to the group and say, turn to a neighbor, talk for a few minutes. What do you think? It out. Yeah. And so then it gives us an opportunity, because a lot of it is we have a lot more knowledge and a lot more insight being adults and having just lived in the world than I think sometimes give ourselves credit for, because I think a lot of the goal of a good trainer is, yes, giving you the knowledge and giving you the vocabulary of things that you may already be aware of. So engaging you in the conversation, making you see that you are capable.
Versus like a lecture of me telling you what to think or telling you what to say or do.
Exactly.
Like, discover it for yourself a little bit.
Yeah. But I also think, so what I was saying a little bit earlier is I do think it depends on the person. Because I truly think if you were to take my training style, if someone else who was not me tried to emulate my training style, it wouldn't work as well for them. Yeah, they really have to understand what their voice is, what their story is, and it's very similar to acting, I think. And that's what I credit. I consider myself a solid facilitator. And I think a lot of that is because of the comfort that I have from my acting background, having done that introspection to understand who I am, how do I find myself and separate from a character, and how do I get up there and convey myself on stage.
It also kind of helps too, and I've brought this up before, is like the idea of like you're like in the theater world and in the acting world, like you're literally walking someone else's life for a hot minute, and like and being able to do that and being able to remove yourself from a character to be able to live as someone else. It's like it really does add that perspective of like, okay, cool. How would I, Matt, or myself, Xavier, engage with someone like this in the real world? And like it kind of broadens your perspective of how you're able to interact with different people from different backgrounds and different experiences. And it's an incredibly useful skill.
Yeah.
Because if you can't manage multiple types of people, you're probably not going to make for a good manager unless you learn that stuff.
No. Well, and it's also about just finding that self-confidence to be able to be authentic in yourself and how you present, whether that is someone who is more monotone and that's just kind of the way your voice is.
Yeah.
Own it a little bit, So I think that's why I say, yes, there are all these techniques that anyone can use to engage an audience. But for me, it's a lot about as well, are you being authentically you on stage and just engaging with the content? That was a long answer for that.
It's all good. I loved it. Yes.
How often are you doing live sessions versus virtual? Or do you exclusively do one or the other? Like,
I do not do one or the other. I've done a lot of virtual right now. My current organization is hybrid, so a lot of it is remote. Because we have people all over the world who are tuning in for this stuff. So we'll do a lot of online. But we also have on-site programming, so I'll do some facilitation on-site as well.
Nice.
I've also presented at conferences a few times. I've done a few conferences, which is really fun.
Which ones? Do you remember?
I was at, what's it called? I was in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm so sorry, Omaha. I loved it. It was such a good time, but it was the Omaha Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, cool. So they did something that you were a public speaker for.
Yes.
Nice. That's cool. That's awesome. I love that kind of stuff, man. I'm that guy who sits in the audience of like those types of seminars and summits, and I'm just like fucking in it, dude.
Yeah.
You say cheer, I'm cheering. Like, I'm in that. I'm very easy to get to follow the bandwagon. I'm super easy.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm very easily excitable. Very easy.
Yeah.
Looking at your previous job experience and what you do now, how do you feel like those previous jobs set you up for success for what you do now?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, I think all of them have that through line of training of connecting with people. Even with theater, one of the things I really loved was understanding the audience and being present with the audience and feeling that energy.
Yeah.
So it was all, it took me some time to come around to the fact, because there's that saying out there, those who can't teach, I hate it.
Yeah.
And for a long time I was like, I don't want to necessarily do this because I feel like you're not like
cutting corners, or like you're like not pushing yourself hard enough for some shit.
Yeah. And then I'm not the one shining. I'm helping other people shine. But I also think that's I love that. I love helping other people find their strength and their power. I lost your question. Things that helped
things me. That helped you in what you do now from previous work experience.
Yeah. So case management helped me really understand a structured training program, because I had to lead a few of those, as well as engaging with a variety of different personalities that I had not engaged with previously.
Yeah.
Acting gave me stage presence. So I understand how to present myself and how to engage.
You don't cower under the lights at all?
I don't listen. No. But I also understand what a lot of people don't know is the like nonverbal and paraverbal cues that we as actors are a little more inclined to be able to say, how do you convey confidence? A lot of people don't know, like shoulders back, making consistent eye contact, things that actors will probably understand a little more because we've had to literally spend body
hours doing it.
Exactly. So I have some of those tools in my tool belt. Standardized patient, working with a variety of levels of individuals. So I had to work with doctors who have years of experience, and I had to work with medical students, and I had to convey information across both.
Oh, nice.
So I think those are just some of the tools that I picked up throughout all that world. And the power of the pivot. I have had to pivot so many times.
Heck yeah, dude. Never be afraid to pivot.
No. And just being like, okay, quick on my feet. How do I get up and go?
Yeah. Want to go back because I want to go back to those who can't do teach comment, because it's I actually had so I remember one thing I did take away from college. I had a voice teacher. Her name was Rebecca. Super dope. But I remember one time she had asked me when we were working on a song. She was like, okay, like as concisely as possible, tell me what this song is about. She's like, try not to say try not to say try not to think. She's like, as concise as you can, tell me what the song is about. And honestly, like, it's funny because like I often relate that exercise to the people who use those who can't do teach thing, because like to me, it's not those who can't do teach, it's those who do too well become teachers, because they can then convey what they need you to understand as concisely as possible without the ums and thinking about it. It's like they're too good to do it professionally, so instead they have to teach you how to do it because they're just that good. I wish that's the perspective we thought of that from, because I think it's way more accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But it was through that exercise I kind of figured that out. I was like, oh, this is what teachers have to do. They need to be able to concisely convey this in as clearly as possible without needing to fumble over stuff to get me to understand this as a student. And that to me just reads more accurate than those who can't do teach shit.
No, I totally agree, and I absolutely love that. That's beautiful.
Hey, thank you. I don't consider myself a beautiful person, but sometimes I got some beautiful shit to say.
Yeah, every now and then. And you are a beautiful person.
That's a bar right there.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. Any other questions, Billy? I know I have tons of questions. I can go for days, but
we can kind of stick to the facilitating of kind of what you do and everything. So what is the most challenging part of facilitating groups, and how do you keep the energy up?
Oh, that's hard. I think one of the most challenging parts is when you have a long day of facilitation, to understand how can you navigate your energy to make sure that you're giving the same amount at the beginning of the day as you are at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that can be something that's kind of challenging because everyone naturally gets tired. So how do I?
Yeah, you don't want to go in on fucking Mach 10 and then by halfway through the day you're crashing and burning.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That is honestly me. Whenever they do them at work, I'm like, I get in, I'm like, okay, I'll listen, I'll pay attention, and then like 10 minutes, and I'm just like,
you're like, oh shit, I went way hard, way too fast.
Yes.
I just because sometimes they're about a couple hours long, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, can this be done with? Can we just like go back to work and like just finish this up, please?
That's so funny. I'm the exact opposite. I'm usually the one people are telling to calm the fuck down. They're like, dude, you're still brapping, and we're like, we're like done. People are like cleaning up, dude. No, like the janitors are here mopping. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That does not surprise me about you at all.
I think that's a true story too. I think I'm still there, like in the conference room. Let's go, and people are like,
lights are off, and he's just in the dark.
Dude, it's everyone left, bro. I'm that dude. I'm that guy, man.
That's good. I think the other part that's gotten harder for me sometimes is I do feed off an audience a lot of times, and I feel like in a corporate setting. First of all, if it's virtual and no one has a camera on.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, I'd be miserable.
Yeah, I have no idea if they're engaging with what I'm saying. And I'll make little jokes and laugh at myself throughout the time. And I just kind of sit there going, well, I hope people are laughing with me or we're just going to keep going.
I hope they're even here.
I know. Like, I'm having a good time, so I hope they are too.
Yeah.
In live sessions, I feel like sometimes audiences, especially in a corporate space, understandably so, it takes a lot of energy to give someone a response sometimes. And sometimes that takes a lot of like, just you're not present all the time if you're focused on, okay, I need to respond for this person. So a lot of times you'll just have kind of the blank, like receiving information.
Yeah.
And at the end, you're kind of going, did you like it? Yeah. I can't. And I can't let myself fall into a space of like down on myself while I'm presenting. So I have to keep that energy up while I'm seeing sometimes neutral faces coming back at me.
Yeah, it's like the face people make when they're receiving information and the face that you want them to make at a given point are often not the same. It's like they either receive the information or they're interacting with you, very, very, very rarely doing both.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm the guy who's interacting but not receiving anything.
Yes.
You're just like, can I get a yeah? I'm like, hell yeah. Tell me what I said. No idea.
What?
But I believe what you said and I follow it.
But I'm gonna jump on the wagon with so much conviction.
I hate to say it, but that doesn't surprise me.
It shouldn't. No. Oh God, it shouldn't. This was me as an actor. This was me in every rehearsal.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
People be like, okay, that scene wasn't great. We're gonna run it again. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's run it 3 more times. People be like, stop
it.
We don't want to run this again.
No,
I was
we
like,
don't.
But we can though, guys.
No, we're tired. No, we're tired and we gotta go home.
Just imagine if he was an actual like movie star to be like, we've done this scene 40 times. X, can we please stop? We've wasted thousands of dollars on this.
I'm like, let's run it back. I'm just having fun now, guys. Let's do it. It was, especially dance numbers. Whenever I remember in Yank, whenever we do dance numbers, Jenna Shoppy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember she'd be like, okay, that was good enough. Let's move on. I'd be like, nah, well, I don't think so. Let's do it again. She'd be like, no, we have other. I'd be like, can we just run it one more time? one more time.
No,
please, one more time.
Oh my gosh,
your boy can dance. Your boy can dance for hours.
He can.
I can dance for hours, dude.
He can.
I can only. I mean, with the way that you are, X, and I love you to death.
Yeah.
Just like, the way you talk and the way you carry yourself, I can only imagine you on the dance floor, just like you're doing. You're at a wedding and it's just you, and it's like, fuck it.
I'm the guy who's on the dance floor from the time the music starts to the time it ends. Dude, I don't eat. I don't drink. I don't whatever. Your boy throwing.
You're probably dancing when you clean up everything up.
Yeah, seriously. While
cleaning,
I just became a wedding DJ not that long ago, and like it's true. I'm just behind the DJ booth, and I'm just having a fucking blast, dude.
Wow,
it's not even my wedding.
Would be an amazing wedding DJ. I'm so happy for that.
I was about to say, Matt, are you married? Let's do it. I'll DJ your wedding, bro.
No.
But I know we're getting pretty close to time, but there's a couple more questions. Like, for someone who does what you do, what does a good day in your job look like? And then what is like a less than great day? What does a bad day look like?
I think a good day looks like having obviously some meetings. There's always going to be some meetings. There's a lot of collaboration involved in the work. So understanding, okay, where are we going? What are we doing?
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Yeah.
Cotton
Where did you come from?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah,
sorry, I couldn't
exactly.
help myself.
No, I love that. That's actually, honestly, some of my day is finding the song that's right for the training. So that is often I love to do that. I'm a big music person. So I connect the song. Like every single new hire orientation, I always play. And if anyone's out there, you can take this idea. Get on Your Feet by Gloria Estefan is the perfect new hire orientation song.
It's a fucking banger, dude.
It's a banger. Gloria, man. She gets That's it. But it's also get on your feet. As a new hire, that's what you got to do. Get up, make it happen.
Yeah, especially while you're enthusiastic and you don't hate working there yet.
Exactly.
It's like, get on your feet, let's party.
Let's do it.
Keyword, yet.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, job is a job someday. Like every day, a job is a job some days.
So I think there's that fun stuff, but there's also time built in my day to work on content, to be able to say, okay, this is a training we have coming up. Let me do some research. I'm a big research person. So even if I have a good idea of what I want to put in it, I just always like to make sure I'm on par with what is being done outside of my brain. What are other professionals in the space doing? So do a little research, start to structure out a presentation, maybe work on a PowerPoint. Again, have a couple meetings, maybe look at some data from a previous presentation.
Dude, analyze some data.
I love data. It's so wonderful. A bad day would be probably a lot of putting out fires. People maybe aren't showing up for a presentation, or we have to change a presentation, cancel a presentation, and then we have to scramble and figure things out. Or there was a miscommunication about something. So I'm online, but no one else is. And okay, what went wrong? Where are we going? How do we fix this?
Yeah.
Or if we do something wrong, we send out the wrong training. We sometimes send like company-wide correspondence. If we were to say something wrong, that would be a really not great thing. So that would probably be a bad day.
Got it.
Yeah.
Any other questions from you, Billy? I have like our final question to ask, but I want to make sure you're Gucci. Before
one last one about facilitating, actually kind of caught my eye. So have you ever had a training session go off the trail or kind of off the track? Mm-hmm. And if so, how do you wheel it back in?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Yeah. I luckily have not had too much of that, but I have had a few sessions that were specifically meant to be more like discussions, a little bit broader. Mm-hmm. And there would be people going down a path that I'd be going, like valid. I appreciate you sharing, but let's bring it back. Yeah. I think my approach is always like, okay, thank you so much for sharing. Can we move back this direction? Yeah. Or thank you. I really appreciate that. Let me go. I'm going to call in this person now.
Got it.
So just acknowledging that the person shared something or that the person said something and then moving in a different direction.
Got it. It's just redirect.
Yep.
Got it.
I love a redirect.
A classic Matt redirect. And then one of the final questions I always like to ask is like for someone who might be interested in going down this road and pursuing training and development. Like, are there a set of skills that you recommend that they start developing if maybe they're not so good at certain things now? That it's like, hey, if you really want to be good at this, like start to develop these X, Y, or Z skills.
Yeah. No, I think so. Oh gosh, that's a really good question. And there are so many different spaces that you can go in training and development. So if you want to be a trainer and like a facilitator, then make sure you're comfortable being in front of people. Make sure you understand how to present a message. Make sure you understand how to project, how to utilize equipment like computers, AV tech things in conference rooms, things like that.
Got it.
How to use a clicker, things like that.
Yeah, the kind of the tech stuff.
Yeah.
Get familiar with that.
I think a lot of it also is just I love self-help books. So keep expanding your knowledge on the subject matter that you want to teach. So if you want to do technical skills, make sure that you really understand Microsoft. If it's like, I love Microsoft, great. Dive deep into it and understand all the aspects so that you're able to walk someone through it easily. If it's, I think soft skills can be a little bit trickier because there are so many different approaches to it.
Yeah.
But then understand those approaches and form an opinion of this is how I like to approach it. So this is how I'm going to present it to people. Understanding just traditional like adult education, learning design, things like that can be very helpful. And I hate to say it, but PowerPoint.
Dude,
listen.
There's power to the point.
There's power to the point. Please, if you're getting into any sort of learning and development, understand how to put together a decent PowerPoint that that's accessible.
That doesn't look like you're a freshman in high school putting stupid stock photos and shit.
Yes, please. I just...
we've all seen those PowerPoints. We've all seen those ones.
Or Canva. I hate Canva, but if you like Canva, go for it.
Just get good at it. Just get good at it. Get good at it.
Yes. So I think, and again, it really does depend on the direction you want to take within the industry because there shockingly are a lot. Some companies even have like specific data analytics with training and development.
Yeah, I mean, for the business Billy and I work for, we have a pretty robust training and development team. Like we have a whole department dedicated to individuals who do that stuff, and that's their whole focus. And and I imagine every the departments are different or their focuses are different, but it seems like like you said, it's pretty integral in every business now. It seems like there really isn't a business that doesn't have something like this now.
Yeah, and I think
it's probably good.
It is, and I think to that point as well, one thing that I would say, obviously communication, huge in general for any role, but especially training. The other thing I'd say, I do think there are some spaces where you have to make the case for training and development. Okay. So understand how to track metrics and understand how to convey, okay, so if I want to do a training, how is this impacting the bottom line? You don't necessarily need to go from A to Z.
Yeah.
But understanding generally, how do I see this impacting the business overall is something that's really helpful.
Crash and burn.
Yeah, truly.
Everything's going to blow
it up. Yeah.
All right. So shameless plug time. If anybody listening had questions for you about training and development, about getting into the field, about the various roles that you've talked about being in, how would anyone reach out to you?
Oh, please feel free. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Matthew Huston, MS, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah. I was like, that'll be the easiest way. I'm on there quite a bit, but then...
and spell Houston because it is not like the town in Texas.
Oh my God, you're so right.
I know. I had to double check when I was looking for it. I was like, wait, no, it's not. It's not spelled like the Houston, Texas.
You're right. Okay, so my first name, Matthew, pretty self-explanatory, 2 T's. You don't walk on me. You know what I mean?
Boom.
I'm not on the floor. And then my second name is Huston.
Heck yeah. Look him up on LinkedIn. Ask him questions. As always, listeners, if you want to reach out to us at Out of the Rut, we have outoftherut@yahoo.com, or we have our subreddit, Out of the Rut Podcast. If there's stories you guys want to submit that you want us to talk about, we'd always love to hear from you guys. Follow, all that good stuff. Help the algorithm out, because Lord knows AI ain't gonna help us out because shit talking them. No, just kidding. But we really do appreciate you, Matt, being on. Billy, Matt, have a fantastic week. Listeners, you have a fantastic week too. We'll see you next time on Out of the Rut. My name's X.
Billy.
Bye.